Well, here we are, live again, and welcome to the Craig Coffee with Craig. I nearly say Craig and Jane show because we normally do this sort of thing with Jane, but welcome to the Coffee with Craig. And I've got a guest tonight who's going to be talking to us about AI. We want to talk about AI in Hollywood. It's Marina Anderson, who's in from LA. So we're connecting with LA. But let me just put the titles up, and we'll talk to you in a moment. Well, hi everyone. As you're joining us live, I see a lot of you are coming in the chat already, and so you have your questions ready for today. So the theme today is all about artificial intelligence, and this is obviously something that's catching the news at the moment all around. But I'm going to be talking to a guest coming in from LA in a moment, and I've already sort of put a video up the other day about the future of artificial intelligence and how I felt it was going and the dangers of it. And when you think about it, if artificial intelligence could mimic us, we end up in a situation where we never know quite what is real. We've already worried about things like fake news and fake photographs, but artificial intelligence could become quite a powerful thing in the future. I mean, we're only just at the edge of it at the moment. Today, I've been experimenting with simple stuff on Photoshop, for example, and it's incredible what just an ordinary person can do just to change images. But the way I see artificial intelligence developing, particularly in the areas of film, is that I could watch, I think, in the future, and this is already people have talked about it, but I see it like this. I want to watch, say, a movie, let's say James Bond. All right. I like James Bond. All right. But I don't like the new James Bonds and I don't like the other James Bonds. So artificial intelligence could remodel all the James Bond movies so I just only see Sean Connery. Sean Connery was definitely the best and the only James Bond. Let's remodel all the faces to be James Bond. Brilliant. I can watch James Bond, all the 007 movies exactly as I want to see them, with James Bond's face on it, the original James Bond. Okay, that's good. And I could also change the plots, maybe, like they did in Netflix on Bandersnatch, you remember, where it had multiple endings. So I can say, well, I don't like too much violence. I'd rather have it all tranquil and nice and happy endings and things like that, or I want more violence or whatever. So the plot could be played around with. Artificial intelligence could change and twist the plot around. This will all be conceivable. Or maybe I'm, I want a gay James Bond, so therefore, he becomes a gay James Bond, or I want a different ethnic origin of James Bond, or I want James Bond as a woman. So artificial intelligence, I'm sure, will be able to cater completely to our tastes, bad tastes in my case. But what it would mean, I think, is we got to think of artificial intelligence as being a bit like an algorithm. When I go on Google or when I go on YouTube here, the images and pictures and the articles and the videos that I'm going to watch next are all kind of based on what it knows about me, the data it has on me. And so I'll be fed, just like we're fed so much now, stuff that I've watched before. I like Norman Wisdom, so I get lots of Norman Wisdom pictures coming up, where most people wouldn't get Norman Wisdom videos coming up. So is this good, or is it narrowing my view all the time? Is it always just supporting my view of the world? It's not giving me any contradictions. It's not challenging me, is it? It's not making me see things differently. It's always catering to my view of the world. And what if my view of the world is completely wrong? What if I'm some crazy person that believes that, some extremist idea? So it will cater always to my extremist idea and give me, for example, violent versions of everything, violent version of a Carry On movie or something. Because artificial intelligence can do just about anything like that. And of course, the big danger also is who owns it? This is what is all going on in Hollywood. Who owns the face? Will you be watching? Dare I say it? It might sound terrible, but would you be watching Craig in the future, in 100 years' time, talking like this and say, "Oh, he was pretty good in his time. Let's have him on now and put him on," and have all sorts of new words put in one's mouth? Who owns it? So I think this is very, very dangerous, because in a way, what it's doing is making us conform to the world. And it's also, I think, completely stifling creativity, real creativity. Anyway, I'm pleased to invite you to join me today with my guest all the way from LA, where it's all happening at the moment. I'd like to introduce Marina Anderson. She's been a good friend, and also we've met her in LA, and she's helped us with our work, particularly on my movie Mystic Journey to India, which you can go and see on Amazon Prime, and knows all what there is to know about the industry, and is also very supportive. She's a mentor to many people to help people get on in the industry. And as always, her link is in the description below if you want to get in touch at any point in the show later, so that you can, if you're looking for a career in television and you want some training, etc. Well, she'll tell you all about that as the show goes on. So I'd like to introduce Marina to you. Hi, Marina.
Hi, Craig. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I love the intro. It's so empowering. It's like, yeah.
Did you hear my? You heard? Couldn't tell if you could hear my intro or not. But
yeah. I'm going. Oh, yeah. I was like motioning my reaction to what you were saying.
But it's kind of going this way, isn't it? It's that's what I was thinking. What would it be like to watch these artificial intelligence generated movies in the future? And I suppose, am I right in saying that's what they're really upset about? You're there with the industry, and what are people saying? Are they?
Well, it's exciting, but again, it's also really scary what can be done with AI. The SAG after strike, for all intents and purposes, as of yesterday, they reached a tentative agreement, and now it's up to the national board to vote to approve it. But in that agreement, we don't have the nitty gritty. It'll probably be released today, actually. It's what covers, what protects the performers. And one of the main bone of contentions was AI, because they wanted to take somebody's image, pay them once, and then be able to use it for whatever, whenever. And we're going, no, we own our image. So it's going to be interesting to see what compensation there will be to use our image. And if they want to do an AI with it, how that plays down the road. That's on a financial basis. Actors, we've been suffering for a long time because our wages, what we're earning and residuals have like plummeted. And so now supposedly this new contract is supposed to help us all with that. So hopefully, knock on wood. On the creative side, I mean, looking at it, behind the camera, what they can create with AI, it would be amazing creatively what they could do with TV, film, and shows. And what you were talking about is superimpose somebody else as James Bond, and you can see your favorite actor as James Bond. I mean, to me, that's like, wow, that would be really cool, right? But they've got to pay, they've got to compensate for usage of that image.
What if they used your own image? What if they put my face on everything? So I watch a movie and I'm James Bond, for example. It could be, that's a feasible, isn't it? I mean,
well,
you don't need actors.
You have a right.
You can just use all the people from our real life. You can have an ex-wife or an ex-husband.
You have a right to your image. I mean, I think there's certain legalities. Don't quote me, I'm not an attorney, but if they use your photo like for an ad and made profit off of that, they're not supposed to do that. That's supposed to be illegal. So you're supposed to be entitled to compensation to use your image for that. So if they're going to use it for an ad, AI, in my opinion, is not any different. That's your image. That's you. It should compensate you for usage wherever. So, yeah, I mean, that would be really cool. How about you as James Bond?
Yeah, well, that's what I suppose. Anything you watch, I wouldn't say the whole cinema would see you as that. But if you were just watching a YouTube, for example, why
Mhm.
can't the characters? I mean, they do it with kids' books, don't they? I mean, you used to be able to buy kids' books, and they used to have. You know, I bought one for my daughter Celeste when she was little, and it goes on. And when they went through the woods, and the little girl looked just like Celeste and her friend so-and-so, and
Right,
they'd fit it in. You know, that was a big thing in those days,
right,
years ago.
right.
But couldn't we have? You know, couldn't we see sort of like um it, what we view as being customized entirely to what we want to see? You know,
I think
imagine.
eventually they'll probably get there because
Yeah,
like you said, it's just the beginning of the potential of AI. I mean, it's expanding so rapidly. Uh,
yeah,
the potential of it is mega. I mean, they'll get to
yeah.
that point pretty
Have
soon.
any of the is the acting world split with this? I mean, some guys might say, "Well, I'm getting to the end of my career now. I've got nothing to lose to sell my image, and you know they give me how many millions, and I don't need to work again. You know, I'm not going to be able to work again.
That's
Suppose so I can make a load of bucks now, and that will stop all new talent, surely."
that's the side benefit of it. I mean, what if that is the case? You know, use the image once and they want to use you for another TV series. You don't have to show up at 5 a.m. for makeup and wardrobe. And
Exactly.
they
Yeah.
just AI you into the new series. And you go, as long as we're paid for it. That's,
Yeah,
that's
but
that.
the problem occurs, doesn't it? If you get if you've got say you've got so many actors to choose from, brilliant actors, you know, you've got the actors and actresses of all the best in the world. Why would we need any new stuff? It's a bit
Well,
like
if from a performing creative point of view, I don't. Let's see how they get with the emotions and the chemistry between two live, real people. I think that would be really difficult to create in AI. At least the way I view it now. They probably will, get to that point at some point too. But for me right now, I'm saying they can't recreate that. You need two live actors and interacting with each other, and the magic that happens on film. I That's AI is planned, created, direct, like a cartoon kind of thing, but mega advanced.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't see them doing that at this point, but I'm pretty sure they will at some point. I mean, even
Uh-huh.
with CGI, they can create. I even saw it on YouTube. They created an actor and they created tears coming from their eyes when they weren't crying, and
Hmm.
it was so real. So
Scary stuff, isn't it? But it needs to be
yeah.
needs to be led by the movie industry, really, doesn't it? I mean, you've been there right the way through. Perhaps we should explain to some of the people coming in a little bit more about you, actually, Marina, because you've been working in the industry well from right
Since
the
I
way
was
through.
16, I had my first agent when I was 16. I also worked production. I was writer, secretary, production assistant, makeup. I mean, I've done it all behind the scenes as well. But on camera was always my dream thing, my love of my heart. So, but I combined the two, and just to learn anything and everything about the business that I could.
Yeah,
So,
you went right
yeah.
the way through, didn't you? Yeah, and then of course you married David Carradine. People remember from Kung
Right.
Fu.
And
But
killed.
I mean, you got him started again, didn't you? I mean, I
Yeah.
mean, he was really, I think, in a bit of a corner. I think when you met him, wasn't he?
When I met him, he was doing Kung Fu, The Legend Continues. And he was a quart and a half of vodka a day. And
God,
I came into the scene and helped resurrect his career, helped get him sober. I didn't do it. He did it, but I was the incentive.
behind every great man, isn't it? They say. Yeah.
Push.
Buddy, we saw a movie. We saw Mean Streets. I don't know if you remember the
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese movie was shown in one of these you know cinemas that sort of just show old stuff and that, and
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was in it, and he only. I don't know if you remember it, but he was only in it for about 2 minutes. He came in as the drunk, rolled across the table. They shot him a few times. He got up, staggered towards everybody, invincible, and that was it. I thought, God,
David did so many films. I made a couple hundred films at least, and not to mention series. But I also introduced him to Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, that was the big one, wasn't it?
From a film festival, and then fast forward 6 years of schmoozing and whatnot, Kill Bill happened. So yeah, that was quite a
turnaround. So he made people's careers.
Yeah.
So how more difficult is it now to place people and get people working in a world now where where things have changed so much? Can you just go to Hollywood and say, I want to be an actor, and you end up completely no chance because
in a way,
AI and everything's taken over?
Well, in a way, it's easier in a way because you have all these different platforms to be seen, but there's so many platforms to look at. You can't possibly look at them all. All the social media and everything. Everybody's doing a video. So that's the upside and the downside. But there is the traditional way of you get an agent submits you for key TV shows, commercials, movies, and there is that traditional way of doing it. So
there's still the face-to-face stuff, is there? I mean, I'm sure that with getting in with someone like Quentin Tarantino, or you have to network, you have to get to know people, you have to go to the parties. I'm sure that's how it used to work.
It's part of it. Yeah, it still is.
Still works like that.
Yeah, but then again, they could see you in something.
Yeah,
they could see that you've got like 1 million YouTube views or something, that somebody might say, hey, look at that person. But it doesn't mean that person's an actor. Depends what they're doing on social media.
Yeah. So that things get picked up from all sorts of places nowadays, don't they?
And there's a lot of casting that would like someone with a lot of views. In fact, that's sometimes a qualification, that they want someone with at least 50 to 100,000 followers, and because that brings attention to their TV show or the commercial or something. Even Dancing with the Stars, I'm watching, and like a good portion of the dancers are from social media and things like that.
Yeah. I've been picked up for that, and me and Jane have been picked up and been asked to go on Big Brother and things like that. It was a show here, and asked to go on. There's one coming up actually, which I'm not allowed to mention, but I'll be able to sort of say in a few in this month. But yeah, so it's it's a strange world out there, isn't it? But you're still able to help people, and like I said, to those coming in now, I was just saying that Marina, part of her role in life now is to help other people get on, mentor people, and anybody that's wanting to get in the industry, wanting to learn acting. You can have a look into
how to present yourself on camera, interviews. I mean, the whole range of things. Just because you can juggle,
and even I suppose vloggers like myself, I mean, you can help people to project your personality and how to take it further, and so forth.
Any and all of it, from pictures, choosing the right pictures to present to an agent, to try and get an agent, to if you're already doing something, how to fine tune things. Because sometimes we're not always aware of what we're doing until we see it, and someone like, no, if you just did this, that would make a big difference, right? So
yeah. And also, it's handy for people to, if they're in Europe and things. You are our way in to get into America,
right?
And that's for most people a very difficult situation. Anyway, that's all in the description, guys.
That's what I do with the acting. I teach on Zoom.
Rightio. Right. So let's take a few questions from people. So let's have some of your thoughts. Where do you think we're going with things like AI at the moment? What would be your biggest concern? Let's have a look. Will there still be Hollywood stars or just avatars?
I think there will always be Hollywood stars. I do.
It makes you wonder, though, doesn't it? You could do it. You could make a complete movie without Hollywood stars, couldn't you?
You could, but
I remember Steve Martin made a brilliant movie when he one that had that one when every time they say cleaning lady to him, he would freak out. Cleaning lady.
Oh, no, what was that?
Dead
Yeah,
men don't wear
right.
plaid. And that was it. That was it. And he cut in all the stars from before. We're going to get used to that sort of thing, aren't we? We're going to get used to that thing. I
Yeah,
think.
because they'll be more creative with what they can do with AI and CGI and combine them all. And
Yeah.
again, it's an exciting creative potential. But just as far as, union actors, we want to make sure we're all compensated for that use.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Do you think the quality of talent, though, is going down? I was talking on one of these shows yesterday or the day before, saying about, everybody now listens to Spotify. I listen to and things like that and all the other platforms, but I'm always listening to old songs because, again, it's the algorithm is suggesting things to
right.
me that so I'm stuck in the past. I'm not listening to anything new. I'm not getting that moment. God, Pink Floyd have just brought this album out, Dark Side of the Moon. Let's listen to it. Oh, here's Velvet Underground. Anybody ever heard of these guys? None of that happens nowadays, does it? And does the same thing apply, do you think, in your industry?
Well, you can, well, it depends on the person. I'm listening to rap. I just watched the CMA Awards last night. I mean, I'm into all sorts of music and things. So I try to diversify my scope of.
It's so easy to get stuck, isn't it? It's so easy to get stuck. And
I have my favorites, romantic comedy, but because I'm a media consultant and whatnot, I really have to make sure I'm covering the territory to see what's out there and what's going on and what's the most popular thing.
Because when you think about it, Quentin Tarantino, he's fairly young, really. I suppose he's 60. I looked it up. But you look, Martin Scorsese, he's 80. I mean, I went and saw Killers of the Flower Moon. Brilliant. So it's some good masterpiece. Anybody should see it. It was we went to see it, Jane and myself, and the cinema broke down. So we were 2 hours into the film and it broke down. It's a 3.5 hour movie. So we had to go see it again. And we watched 5 and 6 hours of it nearly.
Oh my gosh.
And it was worth every moment. It was brilliant. But he's 80 years old now. And Ridley Scott, who's bringing out Napoleon, which is another movie that I'm itching to see, which is not out over here yet.
Yeah.
85 years old he is. So have we got no young talent? There's no young talent coming on, is there?
You mean as far as directors?
Oh, all of it. Directors. I mean,
I think there's plenty of new people. It's just they need a publicist to get them out there.
Yeah, I think we need a few of the big names on your books again, don't we? Really, I mean,
if people watch more cable, you tend to see more, I say, actors who are really into the realism. Commercial TV in general has I'm watching, a couple of cop shows. I'm going, that's not real. I don't believe that emotion. But depends on the director. If they want everything just low key, they don't want high emotion. I mean, there's so many different factors involved. I don't think they're trained the same because in my day, there were like the masters. There's Sandy Meisner and Stanislavski method and all that I was trained in, and they're not teaching those. There's these new gurus coming up with their own techniques, which is great. But actors that come to me and they say, "Well, I've been 2 years at this place," and I said, "No, diversify. Treat it as a smorgasbord. Get a sample of many different people and create your own what works for you the best." And
it must be hard to get on.
Yeah.
It's no easy route. And this again, going back to the AI thing, Nana says here, AI can lie, it can mislead and trick us now. We cannot count on what we see or hear now. I think that it's just a manipulation tool to get you to believe exactly what the person's doing it wants you to see.
Well, I agree with that. And you take it outside of the acting realm and you put it into the news media.
We're really in trouble, aren't we?
Right, because you don't know what's AI'd, and it's hard to fact check things.
Yeah, and the problem is people believe it, don't they? This is the snag. I mean, people will believe false history narratives, for example, really annoys me because I love history, and I see stories and I see even published books now that take a completely
Right.
ridiculous view of what happened in the past. They woke it, for example,
Exactly.
everything we try to look in the past in the view of the glasses what we're looking through now, as it were. We want to see it through
Right.
today's eyes, and we can never see things as they are. And part of movies really is to entertain, but it's also in that entertainment to educate us as well, isn't it? I mean,
Yes.
Killers
Yes.
of the Flower Moon. I mean, I learned all about the what were they called, the Osage race, or the Indians,
Oh.
and they even did the lighting and everything in the movie to reflect the times of day that were sacred to
Mhm.
those people. And I learned a lot about about learn a bit about yourself, don't you? Learn about life, you question things,
Right.
but most of it now I feel is junk. Most of it out there. That's an
It,
exception.
it's
And
a lot of sensationalistic content. The quality content got pushed by the wayside because whoever goes sees movies wanted the action stuff, and they wanted all this numbing out, and it wasn't so much, you just want to chill out and just not really think or worry or feel anything.
mm,
Now it's coming back.
don't you think things go to the lowest always? They never go to the highest, don't they? They always drop to the lowest we can get to. They get to the easiest to produce, the cheapest to produce, the
Lowest
sort of
common
rubbish we're seeing
denominator.
on Netflix. What are your guys out there in the industry asking for now? What are they looking for in people? Are they looking for new talent? Are they looking for new comedians? Are they looking for new stuff? I mean, there's been a debate over here in which people have been saying we could never get Monty Python's Flying Circus working again because
I
we
love that.
wouldn't be allowed to get sort of 6 white men from Oxford together to muck around and be silly and just do their own thing. Nowadays, it's all got to be choreographed. It's all got to be fitted into what the advertisers want. It's all got to be fitted into what's politically correct in that case.
Because that's
And
where the money
so
is.
on. Yeah.
And because of the way the world is and finances, people are trying to create something to create more money because of inflation, and it's money, 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 money motivated. So yeah, it does kind of get lost in the wayside, but they're always looking for new talent. It's just how to get to those people looking for the new talent and get that exposure so you get your crack at it.
Yeah, it seems to me they all have a preconception about what everything's got to be, I mean, like the advertiser, the whole thing happened in America with that Bud Light business, didn't it?
Yeah.
And it absolutely backfired on big time. And I feel that so much what you see now on TV and coming out of America and also coming out here, it's all like it's got a little bit of a political agenda behind it, you know. And I think it's tainted the art in many respects. It's tainted the art because it's made things which always has to fit into this preconception of what the film directors, the lovies even, want to see, and I think a lot of talent is getting lost. And I wonder if you find someone that's, say, very unusual, say you had a John Cleese sort of character from Monty Python, could you place somebody like him? Could you train him, or are you being told specifically what type? Are you getting this political stuff coming through, as it were? We have to have someone,
A
like
lot of
this.
times in what they call the breakdowns that come from the casting to the agents, in that character description, they can say, wait, John Cleese type. And so every agent in Hollywood's going to be submitting their client that would fit that description or comedy ability. And so they're trying to get the John Cleese type. So, I would go, just cast John Cleese. It depends on budget and whatnot. So in that way, it's not really political. It's just what they have in mind for the character. But when you get in, I would say, go back to commercial TV, I have to shut it off because pretty much every commercial is like a drug commercial for, prescription. And it's like, I don't want to just stop, just stop. It's too much in your face. And then when you're going on your computer, it's all the, I can't say the algorithm, but they track you and find out what your interests are. And then the ads you get hit with are what they think you're interested in. So you'll buy the product or.
Yeah. And product placements and the rest of it. And I suppose
Right.
AI, again, could place products that you need. So I'm thinking about buying a new camera. So it just happens that in the movie somewhere on that desk will be a camera, or will be on as we pass as the car drives down the road down Hollywood Boulevard, there's a billboard that says buy such and such a camera, or so on. I mean, a product placement could go absolutely balmy
Yes,
with
yes.
AI.
The potential is
So it just becomes and no, and how about influence? You see, I was talking about the danger of political influences and
mhm,
people having, I mean, a lot of us complain about Hollywood because it's over liberal. It's California, which is very different to the rest of the world. And what if that agenda is forced into things, or any agenda? What if there was a hidden agendas being pushed in? How much
well,
manipulation could we get from AI? And I think what Hollywood seems to be doing is they're worrying about their bills and whether they're going to get their money, the actors and actresses. But how many people have thought about the actual social consequences of what AI could do to the world?
I
And
think they have, and that's what a lot of people are concerned about.
yeah,
Um, but again, the flip side of it is I'm thinking like as an artist, somebody posted, it was on Facebook, and he's a photographer, but he was using AI to create these incredible images of old people. I mean, like 90 years old, but dressed up in these incredible fashions and backgrounds and everything. That is AI art.
yeah,
People are like, oh, that's AI art. No, it was incredibly beautiful. Like, why not
hmm
in that positive sense, right?
yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of positive stuff that could come out of it. Yeah,
Yeah. But again, because we're only on the tip of the iceberg of AI's potential, there are dangers out there. Yeah. Political influence. It's there now. I mean, with
well, like
products.
before we came on the show today, I downloaded the app to improve Photoshop, and playing
Mhm.
around. I played around with it online before, but incredible what you can do without
Oh,
any talent. I've got friends that are illustrators, and I think they don't stand a chance with this. It says, "Oh, change that to an elephant. Put clowns in the picture. Do this and that, and it will do it all with quite a lot of uh, accuracy."
this is okay. So before we came on, I did the regular video, and I was like, oh god, I really kind of look tired this morning with the bag. I'm going to click the beauty thing. Ta-da. So this is a perfect example. It's like, yeah, okay, I look awake and my makeup looks really good. And
Yeah.
there are the advantages.
Yeah, I need one of those. I need an ongoing one that I can wear all the time. So I want an AI that knocks 40 years off me. It used to be 10. Yeah.
So in a way, it's like, bless those filters.
I
um,
see Paul's put one up here. AI can be very creative in the right hands. And it looks to me like an AI picture there, Paul.
yeah,
You
but there
you
again,
can kind of spot them though.
in the
You can spot AI, I think. I think
no,
this,
no, that's the problem, and that's the problem I
yeah.
feel is in the press. How do we know it's real
Well,
news
that's true. You
anymore?
can kind of spot it at the moment because you think, oh, AI is very good at generating pictures of animals and cats. It struggles a bit with humans sometimes, and
Mhm.
hands and things. You'll notice,
But
but they're
still
5 minutes away
photographs.
before they sort that out. I'm sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
still photographs.
yeah, yeah,
Generate.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
it's just a matter of time, and
yeah.
that'll be quick, before it gets into film and everything else to be
And we
sold.
worried about this with when the internet came along and we had things like Wikipedia. I mean, I joined. Well, I knew people. I didn't do it myself, but I knew people used deliberately go onto Wikipedia and change dates and things like that, and put in false facts
Mhm.
about
Right,
not just to try it out, just to see how far they could push it.
right.
Um, and some of those things got absorbed. But nowadays, I did an article with Psychic News last week, and they'd looked me up and they'd looked up this article, and it was full of a load of erroneous facts that they picked up from a website
And
that
you
had used
can't take
AI to
it back.
generate
Mm.
some information about me.
Right.
Uh, and
You
they knew
can't,
it to be the case, so it was all right. But
but you
um,
can't retrieve that. Once it's out there, you can't retrieve
it's
that
out there
information.
forever. And photographs, films, I mean, it's
Right,
a scary world, I think, what we're going to enter with AI. And this is just one kind of area
right,
we've been talking about today, isn't it? Just
right.
one teeny
Just
smack
one
of
little
it,
small
little
area of
segment of
it
it.
in the entertainment industry.
And, it's obviously affecting people. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, I think we say we do about half an hour today, so we're just coming, I think, to the close now, Marina. But I just remind people, you've been involved in the industry for your whole life.
I won't say all day. You can look it up on the internet. Um, but a long time. So
Yeah.
I've counseled, coached, taught, do publicity of like Alan Parsons, Frank Stallone, Don Most, Robbie Benson, clients of mine, Ed Begley Jr., not anymore, but Ed. So a lot of celebrities, I know what I'm doing, and I love helping people and kids too. I teach acting for kids and coaching, helping their parents what to do. And so that just gives me such joy to help people with it, because I want to help them achieve their dreams.
So people can have a look in the description, have a look for the website page we put up for you, and there's an email link there that they can get in touch with you
Yes,
directly, can't they? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us today, and
Thank
I hope
you.
everybody enjoyed that. It's always interesting to sort of extend what we think about, because I love getting guests on, and thanks, Marina, for sort of making it a fascinating. Oh, you've got a book too, haven't you? We haven't mentioned your book. I mean,
I
I'm
have
not
the
here
book.
to just advertise,
The
these
book
guys
I
don't mind.
wrote, my memoir, it's David Carradine, The Eye of My Tornado. It's on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and it's about my life with David. And I cover how I helped resurrect his career, a lot about Hollywood, the inner workings of Hollywood, and I also investigated David's passing, which was highly, publicized in the media, and so I investigated that because there was something wrong with what happened there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are still asking. I see it on the internet, and it was quite a harrowing story. I know, because I know the story, but it's a fascinating read, particularly those that remember David Carradine and Kung Fu, and he played in in Kill Bill, wasn't it, and all the rest of it that you got him started with. It's an interesting backstory.
Bound for Glory.
Yeah.
He was up for
Yeah.
awards.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So incredibly talented man, and he had his demons, but there was something wrong with.
There's nothing like reading a real book. That's what I say.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way we're going to preserve our knowledge, really.
In
But even
books,
those can be printed out,
right?
fake ones. But I mean, the earlier books, I mean, that's where I always go and check everything nowadays in a book or an old encyclopedia, because often the stuff we see with all this AI generated stuff just can't be trusted.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. So,
Oh, okay.
thank
Well, thank you for joining me today, and I'm going to say goodbye to everyone now then. So thanks again for joining us. We'll see you soon, guys. Bye for now. So would you like to know more? Come and see my website at psychics.co.uk, where you can buy my books. You can also read lots of free articles, and you can join our Patreon community if you like there. You can also book readings with myself and Jane. I do readings by Zoom and by email. Jane does them one-to-one at home. So have a look on the website, you'll find all that. And you'll also find our team of readers who do international work. So you can book a psychic, a medium, an astrologer there, and they're available now for phone readings 24/7. So visit our website, psychics.co.uk. You'll find a link in the description below.